everyone. It's such a pleasure to be here today. It's an honor to be among you all. I have a story, and I know every single one of you here today has a story as well. It's your circumstances, your talents, your experiences that take you to where you need to be, take you into the calling that God has for your life. For me, it started at 13 years old. I was born and raised in America, like most of you. And at 13 years old, my mother and father came into my room and they said, "Get ready. Your life's about to change. We're moving to Egypt." Now you can imagine, at 13 years old, I'm about to start high school. I am so excited about the new wardrobe and just spending time with friends. And I'm not thinking outside of the box. To me, that's it. But God had another calling for my life. He was going to take me across the world to see the pain and the suffering of the people so that we can be his hands and be his feet and heal them. When I was 13 years old, I got on a plane to Egypt. And I'll never forget, I was coming to hug my male cousin. And my dad pulled me by the collar and he said, "What are you doing? We're in a different world right now. Don't speak about religion. Don't speak about politics. Watch the way you are with males. Everything's changing now." I was shocked. I was sad. I didn't understand why. God, why would you take me away from everything I know? Why? I want to be like everybody else in the U.S. I want to be back in high school just enjoying. But God made it very clear that sometimes he takes you away from everything you know so that all you have to rely on is him. And when you rely on him, he is going to take you skyrocketing to be truly a history maker and a world shaker. How many of you are ready to be a world shakers? How many of you? That's not enough. How many of you are ready to shake the world with God's hands, with his love? Because every talent he's given you, every experience is supposed to be used for this world, to bring healing. So I'm in Egypt, and I see how women are suffering. I see how Christians don't have any rights. And my parents, who had been living here in the United States for 20 years and returned to Egypt, saw as well, saw the truth. And we knew that God brought us there to change that region. And little by little, God brought us to people, Muslims and Christians, to the point where we were meeting with the heads of state and the heads of the Muslim world and the Christian world. And we were showing light in the darkness. One of the projects we worked on had to do with female genital mutilation. I was shocked when I found out that Egypt has the second highest rate of female genital mutilation in the world. And I thought to myself at 13 years old, that could have been me. If I lived in Egypt, that would have been me. I could have been forced into child marriage, but I wasn't. God gave me freedom, but that's not just for me alone. With that freedom comes a mutual obligation to give back. We are here in this country for a reason. We have freedoms for a reason. What are we going to do with them? What are we going to do with them? You know, in the Bible, in Matthew, God speaks to the servants, and he gives them talents. He gives one servant 5 talents, and another one 2 talents, and the other one 1. The one that took his talent and hid it was shunned. He hid it because he was afraid that something was going to happen to that talent. I challenge you not to be afraid. I challenge you to look at every circumstance and every experience that you have and to ask the question, why, God? Why am I in this situation? Why do I have this talent? Why have you given me this gift? And what do you want me to do with it? And when we get to that place, we will be world shakers. Because now it's not about us. It's about truly being his vessels. We worked on a lot of Egyptian revolution movements after January 2011. And we had the honor of working on the new Egyptian constitution. And this was where God put us. Who would have thought, being 13, going to Egypt, would take me many years later at 29 to being able to work on a constitution that would bring rights to religious minorities, to women, to the disabled. Today, we are allowed to renovate and rebuild our churches. To give you perspective, for the past 60 years, in order to even fix a bathroom in our church, we would have to obtain a presidential permit. The president would have to approve before we were able to fix a church. And today, Christians and Jews are able to build their churches, build their temples, and have freedom. In fact, Article 64 says, freedom of belief is absolute. The freedom of practicing religion and religious rituals and establishing worship places for the followers of the Abrahamic religions is a right regulated by law. And it's punishable. Look where we are now. Look where we've come. Women have rights that are equal to man, whereas before it was subject to Sharia law. I want you all to really look inside your hearts in this next season and start asking, God, how do you want me to shake this world? How am I going to change history? Because every single one of you is destined. We are all on top of the mountains. It could be the mountain of media, the mountain of education, the mountain of family. What are you going to do on top of your mountain? Thank you so much for your time. It is an honor to be here. Just know that God has a plan for every step you take. Thank you.